Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Matt Jarbo here with $3 Theater with a lot of news today. My God, Disney made a big splash in regards to what's going to be coming down the pipeline over the course of not the next 1 year, but the next 2 years. And it is crazy when we see how much this whole situation is shifting Hollywood. But right now, they are in utter survival mode. So they're thinking of the best possible way to ride this wave out and still survive, because what we're hearing today also is that AMC may not survive, and that's going to be one major blow to the movie-going community, and I have a video on that coming, so pay attention for that one. Keep on the lookout. But today we're going to be talking about how Disney has set new release dates for Black Widow, Mulan, and more. And by more, it feels like everything. So looking at this breakdown right here, we can see when movies are coming now. So Black Widow was moved from May to November 6th. I actually had thought that they were going to take over the Free Guy slot for July 3rd. It just seemed to make the most amount of sense to get in there while summer is still going on. But apparently they feel that bumping Eternals is going to be the best move. And I did say that Eternals was an easy one to shift because there's not a lot of hype for it right now. That's been moved to February 2nd, 2021, whereas Shang-Chi has been moved to May 7th, giving it that coveted first week of May release. And who knows if that's actually going to be able to pull off a fair win. We've also got Doctor Strange 2 moved from its original May release date back to November, which is fine because Doctor Strange came out in November back in 2016, and that's going to give them more time to get it right and to tie it into WandaVision and the Disney Plus shows. So that makes the most amount of sense. Now, Thor 4 has been moved back to February 2022. Are we noticing a pattern here, by the way? November, February, May, November, February, May. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? Right? I feel like there's an entire season that's not really getting looked at there. Of course, that'd be the middle of summer. So we have Black Panther 2 officially slated for May 8th, 2022, which is about what we expected. It's going to be the first film to kick off Thor 5. And then this is a new addition. This is the first actual confirmation and release date. Captain Marvel 2, July 8th, 2022. And I'm going to be very curious to see how the movie does without the slingshot effect leading it in to the Marvel, to Endgame or any of the Avengers films. So when it comes to the Marvel properties right now, they've shifted it about probably 6 months across the board. That's not so bad. But what I love about it is it finally lays to bed all of the nonsense arguments that Black Widow is going to be going to video on demand. Because we kept hearing that now for the last week from Jeremy Conrad and Grace Randolph. And guess what? They were wrong, and neither one of them, from what I have seen, have come out and said I was wrong. And that's all a lot of us really want, is if you make a prediction and you're wrong, just say you were wrong. Nothing wrong with that. But ego is a mofo, and that's currently really stopping the conversation from going forward. And I think it's also eroding a lot of their trust with their audience because people out there are calling them out, and they're just getting really defensive. But on the bright side, the MCU is looking pretty good. But there is one notable exception to this particular thing, and that, of course, is Spider-Man 3, which we did talk about the other day being delayed because of the whole situation. And I know what you're going to say. I know what the comments are going to say. They're going to say, Matt, come on, man. Spider-Man 3 is not a Disney movie. It's not a Disney movie. That is absolutely true. It's not a Disney movie, but it features a character that is interwoven into the other Disney movies, which means that its release is actually really important. And since that's been delayed indefinitely right now, we don't know when it's going to be coming out. We can kind of go backwards and get an idea here, right? So if Eternals is now February 12th, 2021, Shang-Chi is now May 7th, Doctor Strange is now November 5th, we can still look between that May and November release and go, yeah, perhaps July or August will be a release for Spider-Man 3. I don't think it's going to be moved into 2022. That doesn't make a lot of sense considering the fact that Captain Marvel is going to be coming out July 2022. So I do think that it's still going to come out most likely in July of 2021. But right now, this is quite literally all we have. But it's not the only one that got moved. No, it's not. It's not the only ones Disney shuffled around. They shuffled around everything. And let me break it down for you. So right now we know that Mulan has been moved from March, which we're now in April, so clearly that didn't come out, to July 24th, 2020. This is in order to get out and make some money before the end of the quarter, because this is where Disney is at right now. They desperately need to make that kind of cash. Free Guy has been moved from July 3rd to December 11th, 2020, which again makes a fair amount of sense coming out in winter right around that time. Everyone's going to be wanting a comedy. We'll have to see how this one plays out. Bob's Burgers got moved a ways. It was supposed to come out July of this year, and it ended up getting moved all the way until April of 2021. That's okay. They're still releasing new episodes of the show. It's still one of my favorite shows on TV right now, so I can just go back and rewatch those 10 seasons and not feel like I'm missing out much. But still, I mean, there's no trailer there's no trailer that we've seen. There's nothing that we've really seen on the movie. So it's one of those things where you know it's coming, but you're okay with waiting because it's not that anticipatory at the moment. They also moved Jungle Cruise basically a whole year from to July 29th, 2021. I did write July 30th here. That's my mistake. July 29th, 2021. And that's a whole year back. And that's sad because I really, really, really wanted to see what this movie was about. The trailer looks amazing. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Now we have to wait a whole year, and that is unfortunate. Indiana Jones 5 has also been pushed back an entire year to July 30th, 2022. Yeah, so it was supposed to come out in July of 2021. That has been now replaced with Jungle Cruise, which seems somewhat fitting considering that they're both going to be kind of like swashbuckling adventures. But this movie is going to come out literally 2 weeks after Harrison Ford's, and I'm not kidding you when I say this, his 80th birthday. The dude is getting up there in years. Please do not mess with Harrison Ford for too much longer. Let the man get the final movie done, or just scrap the project entirely, because I am afraid, given where we are and who is most susceptible to this whole pandemic, that Harrison Ford needs to be put on 24-hour surveillance. Same with Betty White, because they are both absolute national treasures. Now, Pixar has got Soul coming out this year, and that still has its June 19th release date. And I do feel that that Disney is really going to hold on to this one for as long as humanly possible. And I say that because with the AMC situation happening, and I'm sure it's going to impact a lot of other theaters, they don't know when things are going to get back on track, but they still need some money coming in, and they've made the decision to not release Black Widow on VOD, which is the right call. And Soul is one that, again, like Onward, it being a Pixar movie, could go VOD, and that could possibly do well. Onward just hit Disney Plus this morning. My kids and I already watched it this morning. The movie's fantastic. I could see Soul doing the same thing, although this is one that I really would like to see on the big screen. Just like Onward, I feel bad that I missed it, but that is what it is. But what we did find out also is Ridley Scott's The Last Duel, starring Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, based upon this true story of crime and scandal and trial by combat in medieval France, and West Side Story, the newest one from Steven Spielberg, will both be holding true to their release dates, with December 18th, 2020 for West Side Story, and sometime in December for The Last Duel. Even though there was a hiatus on filming due to the current pandemic, I do expect that to be finishing itself up. And so that's what we know in regards to that one, to those theatrical releases, right? Those are the ones that actually have clear release dates. But Disney did drop the ball today on something even more wild, and something that I think a lot of people saw coming, but it just seems to make the most amount of sense. And that is Artemis Fowl is now going to be skipping theatrical release and debut explicitly on Disney Plus. Now, the film was originally set to come out May 29th, so right after Memorial Day weekend. This is a movie that was also pushed back from 2019, and it just is not one that has had a lot of hype behind it, even though it is directed by Kenneth Branagh, who is a good director, and the movie does look like a fair amount of fun. The biggest issue here is just that the trailers kind of didn't seem to overwhelm people, and that ended up being a bit of a problem, I think. So Disney's just realizing now that this one is probably for the best to dump on Disney Plus, and with any luck, it can be popular enough to where it could then spawn the series. Because keep in mind, this is a book series. People like it. It's a young adult series. And if it does well on Disney Plus, then that could be something where they would go, okay, let's lower the budget. Let's look into doing sequels, and we'll make that a Disney Plus exclusive, because then people are going to want to see it. And that is actually a really smart move on Disney's part, to be fair. Then we've also got these ones here. You've got The Personal History of David Copperfield, The Woman in the Window, and Antlers. These are all 20th Century Studio releases that have now been completely delayed. We do not know when they're coming at all. There's no set release date. I would expect these movies probably to show up on Hulu, if I'm being fair. These ones feel like they could go VOD, even though Antlers was starting to screen for press in LA and press were coming out saying good things about it. I could see that one absolutely being held off until October or put on VOD. Same with Woman in the Window. And the personal history of David Copperfield comes across like a movie. Well, if I'm being fair, it comes across like a movie that's going to basically just be something for the award season. So just release that towards the end of the year. And I think that people are just probably going to move past it. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's going to be that entertaining to me. But the big one here, New Mutants. Right now, New Mutants has absolutely no damn release date. Nothing. They did not announce New Mutants, a new release date for it, which tells me this is going to go the Artemis Fowl route. At this point, it absolutely has to go the Artemis Fowl route because just release the damn thing. I think we're at that point. Just release New Mutants. Hashtag release New Mutants. Put it out there. Let people see it finally. You're clearly not making any money on this movie. You're clearly not going to make any money. This movie is cursed. This is a cursed movie that Shudder is already chomping at the bits to make a documentary about because it keeps getting screwed. Just release it. Just release it. That's at this point, that's literally all I can say about that is please just release New Mutants so we can see it and we can talk about it and then go from there. But yeah, I mean, it's a big deal with what's going on right now with Disney. It's a big deal with everything happening, with the furloughing of the employees. That there's over 70,000 park employees that they have worldwide that are going to be furloughed. Starting April 19th. That's a big deal with the theme park down, the theaters down, the cruise line down, the retail is down. They're not making a lot of money outside of Disney Plus. So yeah, there's reasons why Onward jumped on there today and why Artemis Fowl is going to be coming, but they still need to make money theatrically. And I would say that at this point, this is where things are going to go. And it's looking good. It's looking like they're just shifting it 6 months. It's not that bad in most cases. Indiana Jones 5, a whole year, doesn't give me a lot of hope just because of how old Harrison Ford is. But we are where we are. And fortunately, we're dealing with a global situation here that is going to erode trust in movie theaters, which is why, like I said before, there's that whole article about how AMC may not survive. Look for my video on that here very soon, because if you like movies, if you like going to see theaters, this is something to pay absolute attention to because this could impact you or any of the chains that are near you, given where we find ourselves right now. Anyway, I do want to hear your thoughts. I do want to hear your opinions. Please let me know down in the comment section. If you made it this far, type in MCU in the comment box so I know. Please be sure to give a like. Please be sure to subscribe. And check me out, Hollywood After Dark live show, twitch.tv/3bucktheater. Most nights about 10 or 10:30 p.m. is when I jump on there. And we chat about everything Hollywood-wise, and we watch movie trailers, and we have a good old time. And it's just a bunch of fun movie talk. So come on and check that one out, and I will talk to you all later. Have yourself a great day. Thanks again, and peace out.